Hi guys, I'm Catherine from New South Wales Hen Rescue, and this video is going to be about eggs, in particular humane and free-range eggs. It's really in response to a comment that we get a lot on our Facebook page whenever we post pictures of the battery hens that we rescue, and that comment is, "This is why we buy free-range." But in this video I just want to be truthful and I want to tell you the facts about the egg industry so that you can make up your own mind about what you want to support and what you want to boycott. But let's start at the beginning, at the hatcheries, where the cruelty really begins. Now the hatcheries hatch thousands of eggs in incubators. Once these eggs have hatched, the chicks go onto a conveyor belt to be sorted into male and female. The female, they will eventually enter the egg industry to become layer hens, and they in most cases will be debeaked, which is a very painful process. The beak is full of nerve endings and it's incredibly painful, and some die of shock. Now there's no use for the male chicks in the industry, so they're destroyed, they're killed at only a couple of days old. They either gas them or very commonly they'll just throw them into a large bin bag where they'll suffocate or be crushed. And the other option is that they macerate. They throw them into an industrial grinder where the chicks will literally be ground up alive. It's like the stuff out of horror movies. And if you're buying eggs or egg products, this is where your money's going and this is what you're supporting. If you're paying for it, you may as well be doing it yourself. That's how connected it is. And they're only going to stop doing this when we take our money away. Now we all know that battery cages are horrific. They are hell on earth. I think it's important that we realise that free range and barn are not that much better. We've rescued hens from these facilities before, and when I've gone into them, I've been shocked at how many hens. It's like a sea of hens. It reminded me of a huge battery cage. That's how much they were packed in. And to walk, they kind of have to crawl over each other. And then they're meant to let them outside, and that's why it's free range. But the amount of space they have outside is not regulated. So it can be a dirt paddock, and that's commonly what it is. Going around the outside of the shed, and they have doors that lift up so the hens can go out. Because there's no shelter often and no trees for shade and protection from predators, the hens often don't feel safe to go out. There's also so many in the barns most of the time that there's no way they could all go out anyway. In that sense, free range is not as you imagine it. And the reason that they market them as free range is because there's a market for it, because they realise people aren't happy with these horrible battery cages. So it's another way to get your money rather than a way to do things right by the animals. They'll get to about 18 months to 24 months and their productivity begins to slow. And at that stage, they're not going to be as profitable for the farmer. So whatever system, whether battery, barn or free range, the farmer will send them to slaughter. If you're buying eggs or egg products, you are paying for animals to be slaughtered. It's pretty horrific, the whole process, whether they're pulling them out of cages, they just put their hand into a cage, grab the legs and pull, breaking the very brittle bones and wings of battery hens, or catchers who go into free range and barns and again just pull them by either the wings or the legs and hold multiple hens in their hands and shove them into crates. It's a scary, terrifying process for the hens, and having been near sheds where a clear out's been in progress, you can hear the screaming from ages away. And these birds are terrified. Then they're transported to slaughter in these crates, and on the truck they'll be exposed to the weather, the elements, whether it's wind, rain, hail, extreme heat or extreme cold. It can be up to 12 hours. Imagine that if they've got broken bones. When they eventually get to the slaughterhouse, things go from bad to worse. They are roughly handled again and put up into shackles. So they'll be hanging from their legs and they go around on this system that moves along. Well, this is where they'll be going into an electric bath. Their heads are dipped into it, and the point of it is to paralyse them so they're easier to kill, and also to stun them so it's not as painful. So that's kind of the nod to animal welfare. And as they come around into this bath, they'll be flapping and screaming and panicking. So of course some are going to lift their heads up and miss the bath. So you're going to get hens coming around conscious that haven't gone through the bath. They then come to the motorised blade that is meant to slit them, to kill them. Again, if you've got a hen flapping around who hasn't been through that bath, then she can miss the blade altogether, or it can actually cut her across the wing or some other horrible thing that isn't going to kill her, just cause her immense amount of pain. So this is why they have a backup killer. And the backup killer is a worker who is meant to finish the job, to kill them. But can you imagine the speed these animals are coming around? Now, you're not meant to stop the line unless it's an absolute emergency, and a conscious animal heading towards the scalding tank is not an emergency in their eyes. So often hens will be missed and they will go into the scalding tank conscious, boiling hot water. These hens all die. They all go to slaughter, and whatever eggs you buy, you're funding this, and you can't say it's someone else's responsibility if you're paying for it, because it really is so important, if you don't agree with it, to take your money away. A vegan lifestyle is fantastic. It's fun, it's good for the planet, it's good for you. It is a million trillion times better for the animal. That you need to be aware that free range is not all it's cracked up to be, and there's a kinder way, and that way is to go vegan and to make kind choices.